Welcome to Glowing Hour. I am... That's not it. Fuck. Welcome to Glowing Hour. I am Sam. This is Mel. What the fuck do we say?
I think we say, welcome back to Glowing Hour. I'm your host, Sam.
We're your hosts,
We're your
Sam,
host,
and Mel. Oh my god. Well, welcome back to Glowing Hour. We're your hosts, Sam and Mel, and we will one day get this fucking intro right. Anywho, today we're drinking a simple little Topo Chico seltzer, lime, and...
I got the strawberry guava.
There you go.
What can I say?
Wow. Oh, I forgot we have a topic. I don't know how I could forget such a thing, but I did.
As you're looking for it, I'm going to say, go listen to our last episode. It was pretty good. Interesting topic. And I feel like we're going to continue to talk about it.
I literally can just go on for days to talk about it.
But anyway, this is your reminder. If you haven't listened to Wednesday's episode, please go tune in.
Okay, so this was from kind of quite a while ago. I sent this to Mel because it just feels very much on point to what we've been dealing with in our lives and maybe our whole lives, because we're nostalgia girlies and we talk about it all the fucking time. Yeah. So here it is. Wait, why are we already talking about what's next? I'm not done with right now. In fact, I was just starting to love it. The future will happen eventually. It always does. So what if we just stay here for now? Your coffee is getting cold. You had something to tell me. Just be here right now. Okay. Reminder? Shit.
That like hits too hard. You know, I will say I've been very present lately, and it's so liberating. Like I'm genuinely like much happier, and I didn't realize how deeply like anxious I am until I stopped, like, or I'm more conscious of like not being
about it. Yeah.
Like thinking about the future or even the past. Like,
yeah.
It's so liberating.
I mean, I think I've always felt since probably high school graduation that my biggest fear in life was living milestone to milestone and like not enjoying the present and always being worried about the future. And I think it's just as you get older, you have a toolbox and more life experience to help you actually do that. Because like we say with the trauma and in relationships, you have to actually be in one to practice.
Yeah.
So you actually have to live some life to practice those tools of like not being anxious and being present. Like you have to be tested. And I feel like COVID may have like stunted a lot of us in terms of like practicing those things, because it was literally like life was on pause and we weren't living. Like we obviously were living.
Like in retrospect, 2 years is not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But it was.
But it really was. Yeah.
And that's why all of us are still feeling 23.
Teenagers, truly. Like, yeah. So anyways, I feel like COVID is a big factor in why, like, we didn't have the life experience to acknowledge, like, I don't have to be anxious in this moment, because there was nothing to be anxious about. I mean, there was tons to be anxious about during COVID, but like,
also
it wasn't normal life.
Yeah.
So it was not testing us in those ways. And maybe that's why we're finally in our late 20s figuring it out and realizing like, oh, I can be present. And but all at the same time know that I still have goals for the future or hopes, and also appreciate my past, but also be present.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking concept.
I definitely feel like COVID did play a factor in our specific like realities of this concept. But I also like, I personally like think back to my brothers being my age and like thinking back on the things that they were dealing with, and I kind of still see the same
issues,
like tone. Like it really is just like, I don't know what it is, but like something starts to click where you're like, you really don't have to worry so much. Like, yes, shitty things will happen, and yes, you'll get rejected, and yes, like you'll fail, but then what? Like life continues to go on, and you'll be okay, and you'll have to figure it out. Like it just constantly, the practice, it really is the practice of like lifing, you know?
Life in its life at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't understand the actual, like, obviously we always hear like, live, be present, be more present, whatever, but it didn't click until I was like, I guess COVID in one way did frame it in a way that like maybe there is no tomorrow, you know? Like, it's a little scary. Like, oh, we're not guaranteed all these things that I've been told my whole life I could do. And I don't know, just, I agree too, though, that in general, in your late 20s is when you start realizing.
It's a rough patch.
It's rough for everyone. Not everyone.
It's the year.
Some people really got it at 18, just really became famous or whatever, or successful in their right.
Even them, like, I still think, like, I think it really pertains to the age. Like, the age is the era of struggle.
Figuring out whatever.
In some regard, like, and having to find, the light and pushing through. I don't know what it is. I think literally, like, this, I don't know what it is, but something clicked in my brain when I was just like, I'm gonna seek failure. Like, I'm gonna seek it out. I'm gonna seek rejection out, like, in a way of, so that I don't fear it anymore. Because it's exhausting worrying about and then having to deal with the feelings that you've been anticipating.
And not that it's inevitable, but
it is.
But it's also like, you're right. And then what? Like,
and then
so
what?
now you're rejected. Okay, let's move on. Like, but you spent so much of the time before getting rejected to be so worried that you wasted the present.
And it's even worse because I feel like I was already anticipating the rejection, which that was giving me a lot of anxiety. And then when the rejection, but I was also like grieving the past rejection simultaneously, where I was like sad about the fact that I've been rejected, but that's why I'm also now scared to be rejected. Instead of just being like, you're gonna get fucking rejected, then what? Like, instead of like, I feel like I was deeply like, and it just makes sense when you think about like mental health. I was like extremely depressed and extremely like anxious. And not to say that I still don't struggle with those things, but it's just more of like, I think I got to like an exhaustion point where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let life. And I can't continue to try to like stop the fucking train.
Yeah. And like at now this point where you're not necessarily like fearing the future, I guess, like the rushing to tomorrow part, like you're more comfortable feeling like it could go either way. Like you're not in a negative headspace of like anxious because you're worried about how it's going to turn out, but instead you're like, it could be good, it could be bad.
Yeah.
You're kind of neutral. Like obviously you still have hopes for it being the positive.
Right.
But you're also like not like realist, but like I guess it's kind of a realist perspective. Just like life goes on and I will live. I will say it's like a realist optimist perspective though, because I genuinely felt like I was in such a like a realist pessimistic viewpoint where like I understood the concept that you can fail or it can go really well. But it was like, but I'm gonna have to worry. I'm gonna have to worry that I'm gonna fail. Versus now, it's like, yeah, you might fail, you might fucking succeed, but like either way, like nothing has really changed at the same time. Yeah, like it's today is still today. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it's almost like the options are, even if you fail, the options are still positive. Like you're still abundant in the way of like, now I'm not tied down to this one outcome. Yeah. Which even if that outcome did happen, maybe that was the you know, like it's just, I guess there's like the positive, optimistic way to look at the realist perspective. So I get what you're saying by saying like, it is the optimistic.
It's the optimistic version of
a realistic person. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really just like realizing that nothing is good or bad, and it just is, and it's just happening. I think life gets easier to cope with.
Yeah, because I feel like by rushing to the next milestone or wanting it to be like tomorrow, whatever that is for you, like I want to already know what my life purpose is, which is I think for us what we talk about a lot. And then we also say, but then once I know,
then the mystery is gone.
Yeah, which like obviously
the allure is gone.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting once we figure out like, wow, I am feeling so connected to this thing I'm doing, whatever it is. Yeah. But also there's like beauty in this moment of being like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Yeah. How am I gonna like?
I'm like, live? Our personalities will be gone.
I will be a boring person once I know. No,
my identity of not knowing is going to be gone.
The identity of not knowing is kind of our identity right now.
That's what I'm saying. My personality will be gone. I'm just kidding.
It'll be different, like, for sure.
It's going to morph into something else. But then you're going to be missing. And that's why we're nostalgic. Because we're fucking constantly missing the things that we weren't present about.
Literally, okay, so I'm on this journey of scrapbooking. I'm trying to gather all the photos of my life because I do have scrapbooks. Like, when I was in middle school, I probably made scrapbooks of my life or whatever. But I kind of want to do it again, and obviously more current. Like, I haven't printed photos in so long. Whatever.
It's so therapeutic.
Yeah, and it's just, like, in a way, healing your inner child of, like, actually looking at them and realizing how good you might have had it, or, like, the good moments you did have, and just, like, where you are now, and, like, seeing that to this is just, like, fascinating. I don't know, it's like, it's almost like it's not you. Like, I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's like another lifetime ago, and
it's healing in its own way, and the nostalgic part is there, but in those moments as a kid, I was not excited about tomorrow. I wasn't, like, trying to be at tomorrow, unless it was obviously like, oh, we're going to Disneyland tomorrow, whatever. But, like,
you were taking the day for the day.
Yeah, I was genuinely like, I'm fucking mad because we're not doing X, Y, and Z today. So I'm going to live in today and know that's what I wanted to do today and be fucking annoyed about it and figure out what I'm going to do instead.
Yeah.
Entertain myself or whatever.
Or like, it's a good day. I'm so mad at so-and-so.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel right now. And, like, that's like, you're a kid and you're like, okay.
Not that I want to, like, live in anger all day, like, anymore, but I was so authentic.
Of, like, I'm so authentic. But it's, like, also the opposite. And in that scenario is, like, I think about, like, literal, like, school trips. Like, specifically, like, in middle school, there's a program called AVID. I don't know if everyone had it at their school. But AVID had a annual night at Knott's Berry Farm where they would close down the park. And, like, I wasn't living for that milestone because I didn't really think about it that way, but, like, when that day came, like, that's all that mattered.
Like, that day, you were in that day.
I was in that day. No, I wasn't thinking about anything else. But these days, I go to Disneyland, I'm still thinking about what the fuck I'm doing tomorrow.
Like, oh, fuck, and the next week. I've got to catch up on this and that.
Yeah, it's like, why... My brain works so weird.
Yeah. And I think about, like, when people talk about weddings, I feel like weddings have been a really hot topic for me lately. I don't know if it's just people are getting married or what, but it's just the way people... Well, I guess I work in weddings. That's probably why I think about
like,
it
yeah,
all the
you're
time.
surrounded by this shit.
Hello.
Girl.
I feel like people don't actually get to enjoy their wedding days because there's just way too much fucking thought put into it sometimes, which in some ways that works out amazingly because then you do just get to enjoy the day because you don't have to think on that actual day. But on the other hand, some people have so much packed into one day that it's like, go, 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 the night's over. And it's like, you didn't even, like, get to live in this moment that you've been waiting for your whole fucking life for some people. Like, for me personally, I've been waiting for I imagine my wedding day all the fucking time. And I joke, like, I'm just gonna elope or whatever. Which, like, I don't know. Maybe one day I will do that and that's fine. But, like, I just feel like it's such a waste to put all this thought and energy into something. And then when the day comes, you're not even being present in it. Because then that's also the problem with rushing to the next thing that you're looking forward to is, like, once you get there, are you even enjoying it?
Yeah.
And taking it for what you've dreamed of, I guess, or, like, wanted. Because I feel like most of us get to those milestones and then we're like, okay, well, now I have to worry about tomorrow. It's literally like high school graduation. It was like, okay. And then I was living pretty present until junior year. And then I was like, oh, we're graduating next year.
Where am I going to school?
Yeah. Like, there's so many, like, moments where I can remember being like, okay, now I'm worried about just tomorrow. Like, I need to get that test done, and then I need to get that done, and then what the fuck am I doing with the rest of my life? And I feel like I've been on the what am I doing with the rest of my life for a while. Yeah. And which is valid, because if I wasn't, that'd probably be concerning, right? Like, if you weren't worried about tomorrow in some aspect, it'd be a little jarring.
Right.
I guess.
A little aimless.
If you're looking for a life partner anyway, you know, like, the aimlessness of it all.
Yeah.
But having some sort of idea tomorrow is not a bad thing. But back to what I was saying, just, like, not enjoying the moment once you get there. Like once you graduate college, it's like, okay, but now I have to worry about what I'm going to do as my career. Like what is that going to look like? And for some people it's easy. Like it just, I did an internship, now I work at this place.
Yeah.
Amazing. And for other people it's not that easy. And some people didn't go to college, so maybe it's just right after high school you're feeling that way. I don't know. But I'm so tired of living milestone to milestone, because every day, if you think about it, is a milestone. Like every single day that you do something, you learn something that you did or did not like, or you allowed yourself to move through something so that you can get to that milestone.
Yeah.
I feel like we take for granted the little things, as we all fucking
always say.
Talk about. Yeah. But just like literally the invisible work, if we want to bring that back in, like the invisible shit that we do, and it's not really a cost, because it's like, oh my god, I just got so dizzy.
You okay?
That was so weird. I'm fine, but that was weird. I'm gonna cross my legs. Anyways, the invisible, it's not cost, but like, I guess like we are not well.
The invisible.
Jesus Christ, you guys, if we don't...
We pass out, like, simultaneously.
Whoa! It's the topos. Something's in them. Yeah, I don't want to call it invisible cost, but I guess it is an invisible cost.
Work that
gets
put into...
That we don't even think about or care about, because even ourselves we don't acknowledge as actively doing anything. Yeah.
That, I mean, we'll talk about this in a different episode next week, actually. But like something in that book, Atomic Habits, was like, he ate me up. Like, he was talking about like, there's a difference between, what was the exact words he used? But it was basically like the difference between planning and action. Like if you live in just the planning state, it's like such an anxiety ridden like place to be. Yeah. And there's no action being actually put into it, and like it's a way to procrastinate your life, like and I'm like, I am actually a really great planner, but is that all I am? Like, am I just a really good procrastinator?
But no action.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But with that same sentiment is like, that's how living milestone to milestone feels. It's like you're constantly planning for the next thing.
Achievement
instead of just like being present with the actions that you are currently making and making the most of how those things make you feel.
Yeah. Period.
I mean, go back to the wedding conversation. I'm just like, similar, not at all the same.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why in the last like couple of years, I've enjoyed my birthday, but I haven't enjoyed my birthday. Like, I of course like have fun with it and like it's a good time, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, I feel like I had so much anxiety about thinking like planning things so that everyone else is also having a lot of fun, or like even just the stress about thinking that I need to be doing something specific to celebrate myself so that other people also feel like they're celebrating. It just like, at the end of the day, I'm just like, did you actually celebrate yourself, or were you just worrying about trying to have a good time?
Yeah. That's fair.
Worrying, not like actually having a good time.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, I think there's just something about like planning that feels icky, and I fucking can't, but like, it's just the way my brain's wired right now.
It's very necessary to plan, for sure, in certain aspects. Oh god, then bringing me back to like the spontaneity conversation of how we want to be more spontaneous or whatever, which like is this whole other beast. But
I think we've been really good about it, actually. This weekend we just got a lot going on.
Oh my god, there's so much going on.
Life is lifing this weekend, and it's okay. But listen, we can get back at it next weekend.
Girl, next weekend I still got life happening.
During the week, who's down? No one.
I said dinner at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday.
I was listening to Whitney Cummings' podcast, and she had the girl from Orange is the New Black. She like went viral because she was talking about the golden juice. Tanning Maynard.
Is she the blonde girl in it? I've never seen Orange is the New Black. I know. Right.
Taryn Manning? Is that her name? She's in Crossroads.
Yep.
Anyway, she had her on, and they were talking about like the nightlife that because they were talking about the gold juice, and basically the gold juice is just like with the Illuminati or whoever like is out there, like when you're famous you get promise if you drink like the gold juice that you'll like be famous and like rich and whatever the fuck, right?
Okay.
And it's like this thing. Anyway, so they were talking about that, and Whitney Cummings was talking about how she's like literally never been offered the gold juice, and she's so offended because she was literally at the same parties that Taryn Manning was at. I think that's her name.
Oh wait, so she's saying that she's been offered the gold juice.
Yeah. But Whitney Cummings hasn't. So they're just like kind of kikiing and laughing about how the fact that like Whitney has never been offered, even though they were going to the same clubs. And then they were talking about the nightlife, and I was just like, it's such a fucking different time. Like the early 2000s was such a fucking crazy time where like people, like you would rest on the weekends. Like Monday and Tuesdays were certain bars. Wednesdays and Thursdays were certain bars. And Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays were when people weren't going out. Like the cool people weren't going out.
But that's the thing is, what's the Barney's Beanery is a weekday spot, and it's because none of these people work normal jobs. And
neither do we, girl. Neither
yeah, but also I don't live in LA, so it's a little different for me. If I did, I think it'd be different. It would be different.
Well, listen, we both don't work regular jobs.
I know, but I don't live in LA, and that's like
but you
the
can
piece.
stay over. One day we make it a thing. And also Katie doesn't work she does work a regular job.
She does definitely work a regular job.
But she can work from home one day.
I need to ask about that. That's like a very interesting, because of whatever. That's the whole whatever. Anyways, but that's the thing is it still is that way in terms of like Hollywood, I guess. Like
people are still going
weekday.
On those days. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Shenanigans.
I used to go out on those days, but it's not. That's when you get into trouble.
And I'm like, but we still go out on weekends. There's a lot of people out on the weekends.
There's a lot, because those are when people.
It's college students, isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
Is that where we're fucking up?
Mm-hmm. We're going out the wrong days.
But then
you have to be a grown-up and be hungover at your work.
Yeah, I'm like, but at the same time, these people are going to work. I don't know if I like that either. Like,
spontaneity is being a grown-up, going out on a Tuesday, being hungover on a Wednesday at work, and like dealing with the consequences. That's living life. Life is life.
Let's try it once.
It's a vibe.
It's an idea, but I'm scared we'll be disappointed by the turnout. We'll be like, wait, what?
I also think, like, for a lot of these people, a lot of drugs are involved, and I'm not about that. Mm-mm. But maybe we can do the opposite and just only drink a little and not feel the hangover. Just a little bit tired. And we'll just jack up on coffee.
Or we do the sprinkle, only 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. bullshit, then go home, you know? That's our target market. Well,
that's not going out.
But that's giving mature, responsible, maybe 10 p.m. latest, but like coming home.
11.
10:30.
11:30. Just keep going.
It depends. But like, do you know what I mean? Like the whatever. This is not rushing to
going out.
Rushing to experience life.
Rushing to spontaneity.
But that is kind of the now I'm rushing to experience life, being present in those moments, because I don't want to look back on my life and miss. Like, we could have been going out on Wednesdays.
That's what I'm saying.
But also there's a cost to that. And lots of them.
But that's and you have to eat the cost to live a little. Is what I've experienced. Is like,
yeah,
if you want to,
because one day we're gonna have kids. I'm not gonna go out on a fucking week. That's a no-brainer, baby. Don't invite me. I'm not going out on a Tuesday. Are you crazy?
We only have like 3 years left of doing a Wednesday night outing, Tuesday night outing. Be crazy on Monday going out.
Monday seems like a rest day.
Seems like no one's out Monday, right?
Yeah, no one's doing that, right? Can we get some feedback?
Anyway.
Yeah, I guess it still does go to topic. That it's just, I'm scared to not live my life and then one day look back and regret it, and then also be worried about the future still. Like, I'm going to be worried about the future always, kind of thing.
I mean,
in a different way
about it.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Right. But in a less terrifying way, because I'm trying to be more present, I guess. Like, even today, when you got here, I was like, this has been a fucking like crazy morning or whatever. But then like once I finally like
let it out,
decompressed, let it out, I was like, okay, we're doing something today. Like, this is what I'm focused on, because otherwise I'd be fucking worrying about the things X, Y, and Z that I need to do still today and tomorrow. But like, why?
Why? When?
Because then I couldn't focus. Then I wouldn't be able to focus on what we were actually talking about today, and then it would have been a shit episode. And then I would have, which I think I've realized has been my problem in general. Like, being so worried about the next thing is that I've not half-assed, but done the current thing, not to my like
it's not like the full focus.
Yeah, not my caliber of what I would want to put out. Because if I was sitting here worrying about whatever, then I would not be focused on the thing I'm doing in this moment. So like being present isn't just like a, oh, well, you should do it because you'll feel good about like like whatever.
It's not some yogi shit.
It's like you're genuinely paying attention to the person in front of you, to the activity that you need to get done, or whatever. I don't know. There's so many ways you can dice it.
I think in general, I think you feel more in tune with like literally yourself in life when you are taking a step back from all the things you can possibly worry about and just be like, what's in front of me right now?
Yeah.
Or what am I currently needing to do, like at the moment, not tomorrow, the next day, or even tonight. Like in this fucking moment, what is it that you need to be focusing on?
Yeah.
It's such a like simple concept, but so difficult to actually put into practice sometimes. And I think me being a boomer again.
What?
I always bring up fucking social media and like our phones, but I genuinely feel like it's just so easy.
This is Mel's boomer take.
My boomer take once again.
Boomers, we're with you. We stand
I'm thinking
united.
about you. But like it genuinely is so easy to have this other perspective of like worrying about milestone to milestone, or even like goal to goal, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because your phone is constantly there and you're constantly being reminded of the things that you need to do, whether it's your fucking calendar, whether it's your fucking email, whether it's your text messages or your social media. It's literally a devil of a fucking handheld device sometimes. And
sometimes even just getting rid of notifications for me is like, I'll half-ass like looking at the notification because I'm like, you just need to get it done with. Yeah.
I mean, I was having this conversation with your mom about how, like, it's literally, like, our phones are literally an extension of us at this point. It's, like, literally having another arm. Or, like, a second brain. And, like, we are so heavily dependent on it that, like, I mean, that's another conversation. Like, not having it is one thing, but I feel like that's why it's, like, another tool for, like, I think before we just had our brain only to think about the things that we need to do, but now we have this second brain that's literally constantly reminding us notification,
which should be helping us,
but it's hindering and it's just, I don't know,
the VR shit. Whoa, that shit's too much for me right now.
I literally don't understand how people, I mean, like, whatever, cool, it's fucking cool, but like do you genuinely want to fucking have goggles? Like, you're like, I can't even think about, like, if that's genuinely the way we're going. Your kids are never, or like people are never gonna see eye to eye anymore. Like legitimately.
I feel like
I almost said
legitimately,
but actually legitimately.
No, I feel like I definitely have a boomer take on this.
Boomer as fuck.
Like, I'm giving boomer scared of change for sure.
Me.
Which I'm like, we're at that point. I think our generation has gotten there. I think my niece and nephew, 10-year-olds and younger, are like, that's fucking sick. I want it.
I want one.
Yeah, I want one. That's sick. And we're like, human connection. Where's it going? I'm scared. And
it's because we're the last ones who had it.
And yeah. Oh. I got the chills. Oh. Scary. Yeah, I can see that if I say now, today, I hate that, it's gonna ruin us, and then one day it doesn't, I'll be like, oh, well, because it didn't.
I'd rather say that than it.
Then you promote it, and then we go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. But anyways, I do feel like...
I'm like, but Apple. That's me.
I realized that we finished paying off our phones in September.
Last September.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had a double charge, so yeah, I know, girl.
You had a double charge?
Yeah.
Like in September? What do you mean?
I had a double charge since fucking April or May.
You've been getting charged twice for your phone?
Yes, because I got a new phone because my phone was stolen. I still had to pay the other one off.
Oh my god.
So I have to talk to Kevin about that. Can both be an expense?
They're both an expense.
Okay.
Why not?
Because the other one wasn't technically being utilized.
So what?
That's right. I put it on the sheet.
I don't know taxes, guys, but that sounds valid to me. You still had to pay for it.
Yeah. I will say, this one's $4 cheaper.
What? Oh, that phone?
57 flat, not 6116.
I gotta stop rushing to tomorrow. I think that's the point of this episode, and being present. And I was gonna say about the phones, like, we're in our influencer era. It's like a whole nother, like, being present is, there's a...
I'm having difficulty.
Oh, yeah? Update?
Like, again, like
you don't want to take your phone
brain is
out.
like, right now I'm like, oh my god, so many things. Like, in reading, like, Atomic Habits and wanting to be, like, in our influencer era, I'm just like, okay, I have to create habits about, like, how, like, being a person who takes content, being a content creator, but also not wanting to be dependent on my phone, and in a way that, like, hinders my creativity. And I
think there's just, like, strict rules on what you use your phone for.
I did see
when.
I did see this one video, and I wish I could show it to you, but it's on my phone. That, like, this girl, like, made, like, this TikTok. It was, like, very artsy, very, like, cinematic. And it was just, she was just kind of, like, bringing up the topic of, like, creating more and, like, digesting less. And, like, I think that's just the route I have to take.
Yeah.
And that goes along with, like, not rushing into tomorrow, or, like, being present with what you got right now, and not, like, worrying about what trends are happening, what's gonna be big next, like, just worrying on the art and the things that you care for right now, and just pushing that out.
In terms of the book, which we will talk about in another topic or episode, but, like, time blocking specifically, like, this is when I'm going to be inspired by social media, this is when I'm going to create on it, and this is when I'm allowed to just freely use social media. Like, 1 hour a day for this, 1 hour a day for that.
I need to sit down and actually, me planning, not executing. I
need to do that.
I actually, like, want to sit down, though, and, like, do the first. I mean, we'll talk about it in an episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about Atomic Habits.
That's next week.
Anyways, I think there's so much value in being present, and that's just the point of it. And it's hard. It does take practice.
Yeah.
And it just takes life experience, I think, because the more shit that you live through just worrying about the future, you realize, why didn't I enjoy that moment? Which is, it's shitty that it takes that in order to get there, and hopefully it doesn't take as many times for you or whatever. But I think in your adulthood, that's just, like, childhood, it came easy. But then adulthood, all these worries and responsibilities came forward, and we were like, oh, okay, I need to absolutely always be. It kind of felt like that's what adulthood was supposed to look like. Worrying. Like, you need to, if you're not worrying about, like, tomorrow, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like we were taught that that's what adulthood is.
Which isn't necessarily anyone's probably intention or the truth.
I think it's just, like, a regurgitated thing that keeps happening.
Yeah.
But honestly, that makes life more stressful. So, yeah. I don't know. Slow down is all I gotta say. Slow down and just take a fucking breather. It really is all.
Yeah, and next week we'll talk about habits that can probably help you with that.
When you're listening to this, it'll be the following, like, the weekend after that is daylight savings. Yay!
Daylight, literally.
No, I'm, like, actually really excited.
The sun has been out, and I was on my walk, and I was like, I feel alive, baby. I was listening to Coachella music. I was like,
I'm like, this year I feel, like, way more, like, inspired, like, just excited for Coachella. Not to live milestone by milestone, but, like, I am thrilled. Like,
she's come around. If you listen to her solo episode, she was not that excited.
No, I wasn't.
But she's come around.
I've come around. I just genuinely, like, I'm taking the present. I'm taking
what it is,
and being like, making the most of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually, like, very excited. I'm almost, like, just feeling like I don't know how to say it. I'm excited.
I'm feeling very, like, childlike wonder about it all. I'm feeling very year one that we went together about it all.
Yes.
But in a less stressed way. Because not that we were stressed the first year, but it was, like, outfits, makeup,
yeah. We're like, we
this
have
whole
to
thing.
do it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still excited. It more feels like creative now, though. Like,
it's an exciting task to take on.
Yeah. Versus before it was like,
well, it was exciting then too, I guess. Yeah, it was exciting. I'm not going to knock it. But, like,
but it feels different.
Yeah. I don't know why it does.
Somehow. Yeah, I don't know.
I think because we're just going to show up. We're going to get there early this year. We have lots of thoughts anyway.
Lots of thoughts. We'll get to them literally probably at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Right? That's when our Coachella episode? Somewhere. We'll figure it out. It's coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. Don't worry about it. It's tomorrow. Don't rush there.
But I'm so excited for #hags.
Oh my god. Can we actually do #hags this year? Thank
Guys,
you.
summer. not to live again, milestone to milestone. But I'm just like, I'm so present with the
I'm
cold.
loving the sunshine today, but tomorrow's gonna be beach sunshine.
But I'm present with the cold. I'm like, listen, it's cold. I'm complaining about it a little bit.
You know why I wore a turtleneck today? I said summer's coming.
You have to
I
get
have
it
to
in.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
God bless.
That was this episode.
Woo! Anyways, as always, please give us a rating or comment. Interact with us in any way. Thumbs us up on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. And yeah, we'll hope to see you guys next week for Atomic Habits. And just, moving towards Coachella. All right. Bye, guys.